Hey, Donald.
Governor Chris Sununu called Trump crazy, but he's...
All your friends, all the people that have worked with you,
he's a very, very flawed man.
they all think you're nuts.
The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist.
He's a populist, authoritarian narcissist.
Donald Trump is not fit to be president of the United States.
Our country can't be a therapy session for a troubled man like this.
Governor Sununu called Trump crazy and said if he was in a mental institution, he wouldn't get out.
Turn over the nuclear codes of the United States to an erratic individual.
Serious character issues.
He constantly engages in reckless conduct.
He goes and he starts to say these wacky things.
But he's not fit to be president of the United States.
A consummate narcissist.
A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever
Donald
seen.
Trump's literally insane. And I think people are scared of him, and they should be scared of him.
Wholly unfit to be president of the United States in every way you can think of.
Donald Trump is panicking, and it's for two main reasons. The first being he doesn't have a closing message still in the final weeks of this campaign. He is still throwing things at the wall, coming up with new slogans and policy positions as he tries to make up the huge amount of ground he has lost to VP Harris with her focused, future-oriented message. And the second reason that Donald Trump is so panicked is because, like I said, VP Harris does have a message in the final stretch of this campaign. And part of that message is about Donald Trump's cognitive decline now. For so long, I have been talking about how the mainstream media has failed to cover Donald Trump's cognitive decline. It was their fascination to always talk about President Biden, even though he was having huge successes governing, but with Donald Trump flailing and collapsing on stage, they seem to not want to cover it, but finally they are, and so is VP Harris. She is making this an important point of the closing message in this campaign, that Donald Trump is scared and he is unfit to do the job of president. And that is driving Donald Trump crazy, so much so that he not only took to Truth Social to post about what Harris had to say about him, but he released this insane video that I can't wait to get into, which shows how panicked he is. And before we get into all of that, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. Enjoying what we are building here, it really goes a long way. Now let's get into this post that Donald Trump made on Truth Social. Trump wrote on Truth Social, "I believe it is very important that VP Harris pass a test on cognitive stamina and agility. Her actions have led many to believe that there could be something very wrong with her, even 60 Minutes in CVS, in order to protect Lion, illegally and unscrupulously replaced an answer she had given, which was totally bonkers, with another answer that she had nothing to do with the question asked. Also, she is slow and lethargic. And answering even the easiest of questions, we just went through almost 4 years of that we shouldn't have to do it again. Oh my gosh. The projection couldn't be any clearer from Donald Trump, unable to answer, lethargic, low energy. He is perfectly describing himself, and it's funny to see him attack VP Harris's 60 Minutes interview when he was the one too afraid to sit down and do it. He wouldn't debate her again. He wouldn't look at her on the debate stage. He is the one who is desperately in need of another cognitive test. I remember him 4 years ago bragging about identifying an elephant, and being able to remember, man, camera, TV, or whatever it was. This is someone who needs his cognitive abilities checked. And that's why VP Harris called him out for it right here.
Let's fast forward to right now. His staff won't let him do a 60 Minutes interview. Every president for the last half century has done one, anyone who's running for president. Everyone has done it, except Donald Trump. He will not debate me again. I put out my medical records. He won't put out his medical records. And you have to ask, why is his staff doing that? And it may be because they think he's just not ready and unfit and unstable and should not have that level of transparency for the American people. There's a real choice in this election.
He is the one who is unable to articulate any sort of plan that he has that isn't Project 2025, and that should scare us all. Because as we always talk about with Project 2025, it's not just the bad policies that are included. Of course, it is the people who will surround Donald Trump and attack our government, taking it apart bit by bit. And that's why when Donald Trump says things like this, which I think is important to check out before we check out the video he posted, it should scare us all.
It's because you've said you want to eliminate taxes on tips, eliminate taxes on Social Security, on overtime pay, ending the double taxation of Americans living abroad, a proposal to make car loans interest tax deductible.
That was said.
You said that in Detroit. You even introduced this 15% corporate tax rate for companies who produce in America and hire American workers. But how will you pay for it? The Committee for a Responsible Budget says your plans will increase the debt by $7.5 trillion.
But they don't know.
The Wall Street Journal said that your plans will increase the debt and deficits more than Kamala Harris's.
If I do this, you're going to have car companies coming back.
I don't know what happened to being a fiscal conservative, but Donald Trump has been a president. He was a president who is bad for business. We know that to be true. And we know that would be the case again. That's why independent agencies, independent CEOs of companies have come out and said, VP Harris is the candidate that we need if we don't want our economy to collapse, but actually instead grow and be future focused. And that's why Donald Trump, in a last-ditch effort to try to gain any votes possible, is saying crazy things like this in a video he just posted.
All my fellow Americans living abroad, I need you to join me right now in saving our country. Our country is in very serious trouble. You have to make sure that you are registered and you are going to vote, because I'm going to take very good care of you. I'm going to take care of our nation. We're in a failing nation, and we're going to bring it back, and we're going to bring it back strong. Once and for all, I'm going to end double taxation on our overseas citizens. You've been wanting this for years, and nobody has listened to you, and you deserve it, and I'm going to do it. It's the right thing to do, and no American leader has ever been willing to stand up and commit to you the way that I have on many things, but this is a very important element for your safety, security, and frankly, for your wallet.
At what point are we going to get to when Donald Trump is just saying he will end taxation completely? He is so desperate to win any votes possible at this point that he is just suggesting anything he possibly can to win people over. He's talking about 500% tariffs. He's talking about zero taxes. He will say anything he possibly can to win votes. Because again, he's not running for president. He's running to escape prison. He's running to serve Putin. He's running to serve him and his rich friends. And that's why he's willing to say anything. Even if what he's saying is insane and wouldn't be passed, but he doesn't seem to care about that, as we can tell in this clip right here.
But the debt, the national interest on the debt now is that the interest, we're paying more on that debt than than we're spending on national defense. Productivity, we can't reach full productivity, as you know this better than anybody. We can't get beyond 2 to 3% growth in this country because of this massive $36 trillion debt. And you can't grow your way out of $36 trillion of debt. So with you proposing these tax cuts, are you acknowledging that we don't have an under-taxation problem? We have a government overspending problem.
No, we have a government incompetence problem. We're going to bring companies back through a system of tariffs, taxes, and protection of the companies that come in so that they can't be pillaged.
She is admitting that he is just throwing out numbers without care, that he is willing to say whatever it takes and lie his way to the White House if he has to. Again, that is his plan. And then his plan is to implement whatever policy he wants without actually understanding how it works, as we can clearly tell. In that clip, he is just throwing around numbers at this point because he is completely deranged. He's lost his mind. It couldn't be clear. And the people doing the greatest job, I think, calling that out are our friends at the Anti-Psychopath P and George Conway right here.
Hi, I'm George Conway. There's been a lot of talk about whether there's a DEI candidate in this year's presidential election. I'm here to tell you that there is. His name is Donald Trump. Trump is deranged.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. The late, great Hannibal Lecter is a lovely man.
Trump is egomaniacal.
I could have been sunbathing on the beach. You have never seen a body so beautiful. One of the great memories of all time. Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
And Trump is incompetent.
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do, either through the skin or in some other way. My administration has accomplished more than any administration in the history of our country.
Don't vote for the DEI candidate. Don't vote for Donald Trump. And by the way, according to his own sister, Donald Trump actually paid someone to take his college entrance exams for him.
Donald Trump is clearly a deranged individual. He just is at this point, how could we not see it? And that is why I ask every single day for the mainstream media to do their job and actually cover it. And it seems like they are being forced to now, because VP Harris is setting the agenda, setting the conversation that we need to talk about. And I am so glad that she released her medical records. And I am so glad she is going everywhere, including in a little breaking news segment we have right here, going on Fox News on Wednesday to interview with Bret Baier. And I absolutely think she should call out Donald Trump's decline to that audience, and not just that. The fact that Republicans and former Trump officials are coming out against him, as we can see in this ad.
Hey, Donald.
Governor Chris Sununu called Trump crazy, but he's...
All your friends, all the people that have worked with you,
He's a very, very flawed man.
they all think you're nuts.
The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist.
He's a populist, authoritarian narcissist.
Donald Trump is not fit to be president of the United
Our
States.
country can't be a therapy session for a troubled man like
Governor Sununu called Trump crazy and said if he was in a mental institution, he wouldn't get out.
Turn over the nuclear codes of the United States to an erratic
Got some
individual.
serious character issues.
He constantly engages in reckless conduct.
Goes and he starts to say these wacky things.
But he's not fit to be president of the United States.
A consummate narcissist.
A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever
Donald
seen.
Trump's literally insane. And I think people are scared of him, and they should be scared of him.
Wholly unfit to be president of the United States in every way you can think of.
Learn more at psychopac.org.
They know he is unfit. They know he is completely out of it. They know he is too dangerous to be president because he was too dangerous to be president 4 years ago, and he's only gotten worse. And so we have to continue to call out that cognitive decline. We have to continue to call out that threat he poses. And we're going to every single day on this show if you want to support that. As always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments or just say hi. And until next time, I'll see you soon.